Ethane, carbon atom is undergoing which hybridization? sp3 hybridization. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen and fluorine. This is the order. Concentration by froth flotation, it is usually the sulfide ores. Why is it not a reducing sugar? Because it does not have a free aldehydic or ketone group. Glucose and protein. Glucose has smaller size compared to that of protein, which is a macromolecule. Hello my dear students, welcome back to part 3 of Karnataka CET 2012 chemistry paper. 41st question we shall start with. The relative acidic strength of benzoic acid, orthotolic acid and paratolic acid is of the decreasing order. So first of all, we need to know what is tolic acid, isn't it? So benzoic acid is benzene ring with COOH. Orthotolic acid means it is CH3 group and in ortho position, and paratolic acid is you have CH3 and COOH in para position. Now, what is the decreasing order of their acidic strength? Generally, if you don't know about the ortho effect, you might think that benzoic acid is the one which is most acidic, then comes the para and then comes the ortho, because it has got the CH3 group, which is the electron donating group, and it increases the electron density, and because of which what? The acidity will decrease. But it is not that way. Here in tolic acid there is something called as ortho effect. That is, in ortho position, whatever is there along with the benzoic acid, any substituent is there, it will increase the acidity, and here it is the most acidic is the orthotolic acid. What happens is, ortho effect is something related to steric hindrance. Okay, if I have to put it in my normal words for you to understand, here you have C double bond OH group. So here there is a big group which is there, and next to that only you have a CH3 group that is in the ortho position, isn't it? So as there is steric hindrance, the COH group will twist in such a way that it will not be involved in resonance. And here, even if they are pushing the electrons, as this electron, that is C double bond O, is not involved in resonance, the H plus ion can be given very easily, and thus this is more acidic compared to benzoic acid as well. So next you have the benzoic acid, COOH, which is acidic, and then you have the paratolic acid, that is CH3 group and COH group just opposite to one another. So which is the correct option? It's orthotolic acid, benzoic acid and paratolic acid. Option D is the correct answer. Okay. Next question. The CH bond and CC bond in ethane are formed by which of the following types of overlap? CH bond, it is in ethane, so carbon is sp3 hybridized and H is having only the s orbital, correct? So it is sp3H for CH bond, and CC bond it is sp3 and sp3 which is overlapping. So we'll see which is the correct answer. Option A, sp3s and sp3 and sp3. So option A is absolutely right, but we'll check the others. sp2 and s, this is wrong. sp and s is wrong. ps and pp, this is completely wrong. So it is option A which is the correct answer. Okay, you have to just know in ethane, carbon atom is undergoing which hybridization? sp3 hybridization. In ethane, all the carbon atoms or between the carbon atoms they are single bonds, isn't it? That's why it is sp3 hybridization. Okay. Next question. The IUPAC name of, okay, we'll just number it off and you can know which is the correct option instead of just reading the options again. So you have a ketone group and OH group, or you have a carbonyl group and OH group. Carbonyl group has got the higher priority. So I'll start numbering from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 carbon atoms. So it should be pent is the root word. And there is a carbonyl group. So it is a ketone. So pentanone it has to be. And fourth carbon atom, there's an OH group. OH group, when it is there are two functional groups. So the one with the lower priority goes as the prefix, isn't it? So it is hydroxyl in the fourth position. So it will be 4-hydroxyl 2-pentanone. 2 because second carbon atom there is a carbonyl group or the ketone group, isn't it? So option A should be correct. 4-hydroxy 2-pentanone. See here it is 2-hydroxy 4-pentanone. It is wrong. 2-oxo 4-pentanol, completely wrong. 2-keto, keto word is not used at all. So option A is the right answer. Next question. The first order reaction is 60% complete in 20 minutes. How long will it take for the reaction to be 84% complete? So I'll directly equate here 60% and 84%. We'll see what we will get, because the rate constant K should be equal to one another. So it is 2.303 by T log of 60% is complete means 100. 100 minus 60 is 40, which I am going to equate it to 2.303 time I need to find out log of 100. 84% is complete means 100 minus 84 is 16. So here it is 20. 2.303 by 20 log of 10 minus log 4, which is equal to 2.303 by T log of 100 minus log 2 to the power 4, that is 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16. So it is 4 log 2. Log 16 value I don't know. So I am making it as log 2 to the power 4. So it is 4 log 2. Log 2 value we know it is 0.3010. So now I will solve this. 2.303 and 2.303 it gets cancelled. So here it is log 10 is 1 minus 0.602 divided by 20 is equal to log 100 is 2 minus 4 into 0.3010 divided by T. So T will be equal to, this is 2 minus 1.2 into 20, correct, divide by 1 minus 0.602 is 0.39, correct, 398 I will get. So it is 0.398. Okay, so what will be T? T is equal to 2 minus 1.2 is 0.8 into 20. This I'll take it as approximately 0.4, that is 0.39. I'm going to round it off to 0.4 so that this is 2. So time is 40 minutes. So answer is C, 40 minutes. Okay. So this is how we are going to solve such problems. Next question, 45th question. A given sample of milk turns sour at room temperature, that's 27 degrees Celsius, in 5 hours. In refrigerator at minus 3 degrees Celsius, it can be stored 10 times longer. The energy of activation for souring of milk is. So you have to find out EA. They have given two different temperatures. Okay, and they have also given it is 10 times longer, it can be stored at minus 3 degrees Celsius. So what happens here is log 10 is equal to EA by 2.303 or 300 minus 270, 300 into 270. Okay, so here you see the options here, 2.303 and R is kept as it is. So you have to just solve the other things. Okay, log 10 is 1 we know. So EA is equal to 2.303 R into 300 into 270 divide by 30. So 0 and 0 gets cancelled, 100. So 270 into 100 is 2700. So this will be EA is equal to 2.303 or 2700 joules. So this in kilo I want. So it will be equal to 2.303 into 2.7, that is 1, 2, 3. I am moving 2.7 are kilojoules. So answer is option D, where 2.303 into 2.7 are kilojoule per mole is the answer. Okay. So next question. At 300 Kelvin, a gaseous reaction A giving B plus C was found to follow first order kinetics. Starting with pure A, the total pressure at the end of 20 minutes was 100 millimeter of mercury, and the total pressure after the completion of the reaction was 180 millimeter of mercury. So the partial pressure of A we need to find out. Answers, if you see option A 100, option B 90, option C 180, option D 80. So from the options actually we are not getting any such particular hint. So how do we solve this? See here, A is giving B plus C. So at T is equal to 0, we have Pi 0, 0. After 20 minutes, I'll consider X is the one which is reacted. So X and X. Then at T is equal to infinity, that is, I don't know, after the completion of reaction, here this is 0, this is Pi and this is Pi, because completely it has got reacted to B and C. So what exactly I'll get? At 20 minutes, see, after 20 minutes the pressure was 100. So Pi minus X plus X plus X, minus and minus gets cancelled, is equal to 100. So I get Pi plus X is equal to 100. This is one equation I can get. Next, what do I get is, at infinity we have 180 millimeter of mercury is the pressure, but infinity I have B and C, that is 2 Pi is equal to 180. So Pi is equal to 180 divided by, that is equal to 90. So Pi is 90, 90 plus X is equal to 100. So X should be 10. Correct? Now, can I find out what is the pressure of A? So A is Pi minus X. What is Pi? 90. What is X? 10. So 90 minus 10 is what? 80. So the pressure of Pa is Pi minus X. So Pa is what? Pi minus X. So it is 90 minus 10, which is equal to 80, and 80 is the correct answer. Got it? So option D is the right answer. Next question. From the Ellingham graph on carbon, which of the following statement is false? So if you see, or if you know the Ellingham diagram, you can actually answer this. Okay, we'll just read it. Carbon dioxide is more stable than carbon monoxide at less than 983 Kelvin. That's absolutely right. Carbon monoxide reduces Fe2O3 to iron less than 983 Kelvin. Even that is right. Carbon monoxide is less stable than carbon dioxide at more than 983 Kelvin. This is the one which is the false. It is not more stable, it is less stable. Okay. Carbon monoxide reduces Fe2O3 to iron in the reduction zone of blast furnace. Even that is correct. So option C is the one which is false statement. For this you have to know your Ellingham diagram properly. Okay. Next question. Which of the following is negatively charged bidentate ligand? Dimethyl glyoxymato, cyano, ethylene diamine, acetato. First of all, it is negatively charged bidentate ligand. Ethylene diamine is a bidentate ligand, but it is neutral. That is CH2, NH2, NH2. Okay, so it is neutral, it's not the option. Cyano is Cn minus, but it is monodentate. Acetato is again CH3 COO minus, again this is also monodentate. So obviously it should be dimethyl glyoxymato, which is a negatively charged bidentate ligand. Okay, so the next question. The secondary valency of platinum in tetraamine dichloroplatinum 4 chloride is. So here what is it? Tetraamine NH3 4 dichloro 2 platinum 4 chloride. So this should be 4, so it's plus 4 plus 0 plus minus 2, 4, okay. So it is 4 and minus 2, so it will be minus 2. So this should be 2, correct. But what are they asking? We know the primary oxidation state of platinum is 4, it is given, isn't it? Secondary valency means it is the number of ligands. 4 plus 2, 6 ligands are there. So secondary valency is 6. Option D is the correct answer. It is 6, which is the secondary valency of platinum here. Okay. Next question. Which one of the following has magnetic moment of 1.75? See, if the magnetic moment is 1.75, see, this is 1. So it should have 1 unpaired electron. That is what we understand. Okay. Now, titanium in plus 3 state, titanium in plus 3 state has got only 1 electron because it is belonging to D1 system. Vanadium in plus 3 state, it is having 2 unpaired electrons. Chromium in plus 3 state has got 3 unpaired electrons, okay, and iron in plus 3 state has got 5 electrons, D5 electrons. So I have 1.75. What is it? 1 point. So if it is 2 point something, 2 unpaired electrons should be there. It is 1.75, that means 1 electron should be there. It is 3 point something, some value Bm, if you get 3 unpaired electrons should be there. That's the shortcut, okay. So it's 1 point something, it should have 1 unpaired electron. Titanium is the answer. Option A is right. Okay, if you want, you can take your calculator and check and see. Fine. Next question. The correct order of ionization energy of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine is, see, before I see into the option, it is in the order carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine along the period ionization enthalpy should increase, correct. But nitrogen is having an half filled p orbital, so it is having extra stability. Thus nitrogen has a little higher ionization enthalpy than oxygen. That is an exceptional case which you need to know. So it is carbon, oxygen, nitrogen and fluorine. This is the order. That is option C is the correct answer. Okay. Why? Because nitrogen is having half filled orbital, a little higher ionization enthalpy it requires. Okay. Next one. The correct set of 4 quantum numbers for outermost electron of sodium Z is equal to 11 is. So instead of just seeing this, I can just write it off. Sodium, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. So 3s1 outermost electron they was. So n is equal to 3. As it is s, L value is equal to 0. When L value is equal to 0, M also is 0. And what is the S value? It is plus or minus half. So 300 plus or minus half. Option D is right. Correct? You can see others, no, 0 is there. 3 and then other numbers are there. Isn't it? So it is option D. Next one, the ore that is concentrated by froth flotation is chalcopyrite, cryolite, cuprite, calamine. See, for concentration by froth flotation, it is usually the sulfide ores, correct? So which is the sulfide ore in our option? So in our options, if you observe, see, chalcopyrite is the one, CuFeS2. So this one can be concentrated by froth flotation. Cryolite or cuprite or calamine does not have sulfur. It is not a sulfide ore. Okay. Next question. The equivalent mass of certain bivalent metal is 20. The molecular mass of its anhydrous chloride is. So first thing is equivalent mass of certain bivalent metal is 20. It is given bivalent. So it should be MCl2 molecular formula, correct, because its valency is 2 plus 2. So it is MCl2. Equivalent mass into valency, you will get the atomic mass, that is atomic mass is equivalent mass into valency. So equivalent mass is 20, bivalent metal, so it is 40. So atomic mass of the metal is 40 plus chlorine, it is 71. So it is 111. So the answer is 111 grams. Okay. So that's about the 54th question. 55th one, 2 moles of N2O4 is kept in a closed container at 298 Kelvin and under 1 atmospheric pressure. It is heated to 596 Kelvin when 20% by mass of N2O4 grams decomposes to NO2. The resulting pressure is 2.4 atmosphere, 1.2 atmosphere, 4.8 atmosphere, 2.8 atmosphere. So what they are telling is we have 2 moles of N2O4 at 298 Kelvin, 1 atmospheric pressure. Now when it was heated, the temperature was increased to 596 Kelvin, 20% decomposed to NO2. Now what is the pressure is what we have to find out. Okay. So how are we going to solve this? So here first the equation N2O4 will form 2NO2. Okay. So initial number of moles is 2 moles which we have, that is N2O4. Initial number of moles of N2O4 is equal to 2. Okay. Now the mass percent is equal to the mole percent. So 20% is decomposed. So what is the number of moles which is decomposed? So it is 2 only 20%. So 20 by 100. So you are going to get it as this is equal to 0.4. So you have the initial number of moles, you have the number of moles which is decomposed. So what is the number of moles which is remaining at equilibrium? So number of moles remaining at equilibrium, it is 2 minus 0.4 which is 1.6. Okay, that is for N2O4. Now what about NO2? Number of moles of NO2 which is formed, 2 is here, so 2 into how much decomposed? 0.4. So same thing has to be formed, that is 0.8 moles is formed. Okay, so total number of moles at equilibrium is 1.6 plus 0.8, that is 2.4. Now I'll use the formula P by T, N is equal to P dash by NT dash. Okay, so the pressure here was 1, temperature was 298 and this was 2. Here what is the pressure when number of moles is 2.4 and temperature is 596. So therefore I'll solve here. P dash is equal to 2.4 into 596 divided by 2 into 298. So this if I solve, I'll get it as 2.4 atmospheres. So the answer is option A, which is 2.4 atmospheres. Okay. So I hope you have understood this particular problem. Next question. Sucrose is not a reducing sugar since it is chemically stable. It contains no free aldehyde or ketone group adjacent to a group. It is built up of a fructose unit. It is optically active. Why is it not a reducing sugar? Because it does not have a free aldehydic or ketone group, isn't it? That is why option B is correct answer. Okay. Next question. Which one of the following contains ionic, covalent and coordinate bond? NaOH, if you see, it does not have all the bonds. NaCl is purely ionic. NaNC and NaCN we have. So which is the one which is out of these two, which has all, ionic also it should have, covalent also it should have, coordinate bond also it should have. So which is the one, do you think? Yes, it is NaNC. That is, it is Na plus N double bond C, one coordinate bond is there, and this has a negative charge. So it's got covalent bond, coordinate bond as well as ionic bond. So it is NaNC. Okay. So next question is, dialysis can be used to separate glucose plus and fructose, protein and starch, glucose and protein, glucose and NaCl. It is glucose and protein. Glucose are small molecules, proteins are big molecules, so it is easily separated. Whereas here glucose and fructose has almost the same size, protein and starch both are big, glucose and NaCl both are small in size, so you cannot separate them by dialysis. You can separate glucose and protein. Glucose has smaller size compared to that of protein, which is a macromolecule. Okay. Next question. The percentage of p character of the hybrid orbitals of graphite and diamond are 33 and 2, 50 and 75, 67 and 75, 33 and 75. See, they are not asking S character, it is P character. In graphite, we know it is sp2 hybridized, and in diamond, it is sp3 hybridized. So, percentage of S character is 25%, here it is 33.3%. So, P character is, of course, 100 minus 33, it should be 67, and 100 minus 25, it should be 75. So, it is 67 and 75%, that is option C. Because they have asked what? P character here, not S character. Last question. The gas expands from a volume of 1 meter cube to a volume of 2 meter cube against an external pressure of 10 to the power 5 N per meter cube. The work done by the gas will be 10 to the power 5 kilojoules, 10 power 2 kilojoules, 10 power 2 joules, 10 power 3 joules. So we have to find out work done by the gas. So what is the formula which we have to use? Work done by the gas. So here pressure and volume you know. So work done is pressure into delta V. Pressure is 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square, whereas volume change is 2 to 1, isn't it? So 2 minus 1 is 1. So 10 to the power 5 joules this is. Here do I have 10 to the power 5 joules? No, but I have 10 power 2 kilojoules. So this I can write it as 10 to power 2 kilojoules, isn't it? So option B is the correct answer. So I hope you have understood. 10 power 5 joules, 10 power 3 is called as kilo. So 10 power 2 kilojoules we have written. I hope you have understood how to solve all the 60 questions from Karnataka CET 2012 chemistry question paper. Stay tuned, stay focused. We are coming up with more question papers to be solved. Okay? So, thank you my dear children.